been over a year since my last desk setup video, so today I'm going to go through my current home office by talking about all the tech that I've got in my setup. Then I'm going to go through my actual physical desk and my charging station. Then we'll go through how I've got my cable management set up, and then we'll talk about some of the more aesthetic choices that I've made in my home office. And at the very end, I'm going to share my secret weapon, which I actually recently got. It's a piece of tech that enables me to be laser focused when I need to be. So the main piece of tech on my desk is obviously my MacBook Pro. It's a 2021 model. I've got an M1 Pro in it, and it's just such a great laptop. It does everything that I need it to do. It's the base model. I think if I could go back in time, I would probably have gotten 32 gigabytes of RAM rather than 16. But apart from that, it's amazing. I do heaps of video editing on it, and it's great for that, especially when I've got it plugged into my LG 38-inch ultra wide. This is also a relatively new addition to my desk setup, and I've been looking at ultra wides for ages, but I couldn't quite find the one that ticked all of my boxes until I found this one, which is honestly great. I've done a whole review video on it, so feel free to check that out if you're interested in more details. But I can literally use one USB-C cable that plugs into my laptop, which both charges my laptop and displays my desktop at the same time. Now on top of my LG, I've got an Insta360 Link, which is the newest addition to my desk setup, and it's an amazing little webcam that sits on a 3-axis gimbal. It's also got artificial intelligence, so you can use hand gestures. It's got 4K video, and it just looks amazing. And again, I've got a whole another review video on the link, so feel free to check that out. Now in terms of my keyboard and mouse setup, I've got an MX Master keys for my keyboard, which I really love. I've probably had it for a bit over a year now, and it just feels great. It's really high quality. And then I've got the classic MX Master 3 mouse. This isn't the newest one, the 3S I think it is. This is just the standard 3, but I've been super happy with it. It's great for multitasking, video editing, productivity. I've been super happy with it. Then underneath my monitor, I've got a Google Nest Mini, which I use as one of the hubs in my apartment for all my smart devices. So I've got my entire office set up so that it's connected to smart switches, so I can turn my office on and off just using voice commands. Then just to the left of that, I've got an Ampere Unravel wireless charger. Now this is a pretty cool little wireless charger. It's great for travel because you can fold it up, but it's also got 3 different pads which you can use for 3 different phones. And you can also use one of the pads to charge your Apple Watch, which I definitely make use of with my Apple Watch. Now obviously I shoot a lot of video content, and so I need a lot of storage for all of the video files. My laptop only has 256 gigabytes of storage, so I've got a couple of external drives. The first one is a Seagate Barracuda 1TB SSD, and this is where I edit all my projects from. And then once I've finished a project, I'll transfer it to my Seagate 4TB expansion, which is just a hard disk drive, so it's not as fast, which is why I don't edit off it, but it's great for backing up video footage, as well as it's where I keep all of my B-roll footage. So I've got an entire B-roll library that I utilize in my videos, and so I just store all of that video content on my 4TB expansion drive. Now in terms of audio, you may have recently noticed that my audio quality has increased, at least I think it has, because I've gotten a Shure MV7 mic. I've been looking at different mics for ages, and I was trying to decide whether I wanted like a shotgun mic off camera or whether I was happy to have a podcasting style mic in camera, but this was super cheap. It was on sale, so I picked it up, and I've been really happy with it. It's got great audio quality, and the best thing is I often have construction noise going on around my building, and this is great at not picking that up, just picks up my voice. So that means I can record videos during the day when there's construction noise because it doesn't pick up the external noise, which is very handy. Now I've got the Shure mounted on a Rode PSA-1 mic boom arm, and I've also been super happy with this boom arm. It's high quality and it definitely does the job. And then finally, I often get people asking me about my lighting setup. And in my office, I literally have just one key light, which is the Aperture 120D Mark II. And then on that, I've got an Aperture Light Dome too. And that combo I think is amazing. If you're looking to upgrade the quality of your videos, I definitely recommend upgrading your lighting first. If you have good lighting, it makes all the difference. So that is all my tech. So let's move on to the actual physical setup of my space. And my desk, first of all, is a super basic IKEA office desk. And I think I got it from a friend for like $20. And I've thought about upgrading to a standing desk. I probably will at some point in the future. But for now, this desk still does the job for me. On the desk, I've got a felt desk pad, which is where I put my keyboard and mouse. And I got it from Amazon for about $20. And honestly, for 20 bucks, I've been super happy with it. I've had it for probably maybe 9 months now, and I think it looks good. I've also got a basic laptop stand, which is where I just prop up my MacBook. And again, I got this secondhand for like $10. I've got a C stand to the left, which is where I mount my Aperture 120D. And then behind that, I've got a really basic tripod, which is where I mount my YouTube camera for videos. Now, moving over to the right side of my desk setup, I've got a bookshelf. Now, I made an entire video about how I created this, so feel free to check that one out. But I use that as part bookshelf and part charging station. I used to have more gear on it, but I've sold some of the gear that I used to charge on this. So for now, I'm currently charging my iPad on it, as well as my X-Way Flex electric skateboard. I just prop it up and plug it in. And then I also plug in my Shred lights, which are my skateboard lights, into this charging station because it's just super convenient to have all the wires just neatly organized behind my charging area. So moving on to cable management, behind my charging station, I literally just have a shelf, which is where all of the cables and power boards for my charging station just sit. Obviously it's pretty messy behind there, but it keeps it all out of sight, which is nice. And then under my desk, I just bought a couple of IKEA cable trays, which have actually been really good. They were super easy to install, just drilled them straight into the bottom of my desk. And then I've put all my power cables along these trays, which keeps them off the floor, which means my RoboVac can get under my desk very easily, as well as obviously then they're out of sight, so it doesn't look so messy in my office. And finally, let's talk a bit about the aesthetics of my office. So in terms of lighting, I've got a lamp that sits behind my monitor that I shine against the wall and just gives my monitor a bit of a glow. I've also got a Qantas laptop light, which I use from time to time, which is really nice. Of course, how could I not mention my neon cloud? I've had that for ages. Since the very early days of me making YouTube videos, I've had that neon cloud in the background and I love it. I think it's great. Then I've got 2 film cameras on my bookshelf next to the cloud. One is functioning, which is a Canon AE1 program. And then my Mamiya camera isn't working currently, so that's kind of just there to look pretty. Now on the left of my bookshelf, I've hung my regular skateboard, and to be honest, I don't really use it that much. I mainly ride my electric skateboard, but I definitely appreciate skating and I think it looks cool, so I hang it up there. And then at the bottom of the bookshelf, I've also got my penny board, which I do ride from time to time if I just want to go out for a super chill cruise. Then I've got a couple of plants. One is an arrowhead plant, which I propagated myself, which I'm quite proud of. And then I've got this other big plant. I'm not exactly sure what type of plant it is, but I think it looks really nice and definitely adds a bit of greenery to my office space. And then finally, I've got this wooden coaster, which I actually made myself probably about 12 years ago in high school. I made it out of an old fence post and it still does the job to this day. So yeah, that is my entire home office desk setup. And like I promised, I've also added one device recently that enables me to be super laser focused, and that is this kitchen safe lockbox. Now what it does is you put a device like your phone into the lockbox and then you scroll the wheel to set an amount of time that you want your device to be locked away for. So for example, if I want to focus and record a YouTube video, but I don't want to be distracted by my phone, I'll put my phone into the lockbox, set it for 2 hours, hit the button and it locks, and I literally can't open it until that 2-hour timer runs out. Now I might make some more content on that in the future, but yeah, that's my entire setup. Don't forget to check out my productive tech playlist. And other than that, I hope you have an amazing day and I'll see you very soon in the next video.